In the first episode of our two-part series with Matthias Bühler, Metro's Customer and Sales Officer, you already learned a lot about Metro's pricing and the partnership agreements with our customers. If you haven't listened to the first episode yet, feel free to pause now and catch up. I promise you it's really exciting. Or you can just stay tuned to hear the rest of our conversation, which focuses on the digitalization of our business processes and the target operating model. We talk about customer relationships through digital marketing, and finally, we reveal the secret behind Matthias' sound souvenir. Dear colleagues, welcome to a new episode of More Podcast Wholesale to the Max. I am Bernd.Rodde from Internal Communications at Metro AG and responsible for this podcast about our SCORE strategy. Joining me once again is Matthias Bühler, Metro's Customer and Sales Officer. Hello again, Matthias.
Hi, Bernd. Good to be back.
Great to have you still with us. Thanks for taking the time. Digital business processes and the appropriate tools are becoming increasingly important to us at Metro. They are helping us to become more efficient and cost-effective. To this end, Metro's business units and our IT and tech departments are currently being closely integrated and now are working together as one team. This newly formed organization of business and IT is known as the Target Operating Model, or TOM for short. On the business side, TOM mainly consists of 11 units plus 7 tech units, and which are now called platforms. And 4 of these platforms report directly to you, Matthias. One of these is a marketing platform, which was launched as the first pilot in February this year. Matthias, what specific impact does this new way of working have on you and the entire CSO organization?
Thanks for the question. Obviously, the TOM project is quite visible in the organization and will also have quite an impact on first Metro Digital and Metro AG, but hopefully also second on how we generally work together and build digital products. So what are the benefits? In the end, the benefit is we go from a triangle between Metro AG, Metro Digital, and the countries to, I always jokingly say, at least to a straight line, because we reduce the dimension Metro Digital and Metro AG because we have one team. And what's important to know, in the pilot, we only piloted the so-called what organization. And there are 2 things to this TOM. There is the what organization and there's the how organization. The what organization is basically, what do we do on a day-to-day basis? The how is, how do we work together and who actually delivers which capabilities into the team. So we've piloted the what. So you had in the pilot, you had the global campaign squad, which basically was running the use cases out of our marketing automation, something like an onboarding flow or the cross and upsell flow in this marketing automation project. And within this squad, you then have a cross-functional setup of colleagues, both from Metro Digital as well as from Metro AG. And then you had a number of other squads as well. And the colleagues basically, as you do it when you form a new team, they had workshops setting up, okay, what are our ways of working? What are our targets? How do we want to collaborate to create the biggest impact? And how do we also collaborate with our colleagues in the countries? Because in the end, this TOM needs to change how we deliver value to our customers and employees, because it doesn't help if it's mainly a cost-saving exercise. In the end, it needs to be an exercise to improve our speed to market of digital products and hence the value that we deliver to our customers and to our employees.
And how do you work? So you personally, how do you work with the platform and the platform leads in concrete terms?
So in the end, the platform leads are my direct reports. So in the end, my leadership team within the CSO organization consists of the 4 designated platform leads. Then I have a colleague, Meli, that runs a so-called transversal team, which is CX and process excellence. And then we also have Heiko Peuter as the VP Sales Excellence, and Michael Züber with the whole topic of MPay and Metro Financial Services. And this is my leadership team, and we work together like all other teams. So I think there's nothing mystic about it or anything. It's really, they're my direct reports. I'm involved in their day-to-day activities. We right now prepare, for example, the annual business review, and then we go through the different initiatives together. We look at the business cases that the colleagues have prepared. We look at the staffing, the initiatives for next year, the KPIs that we want to focus on. And yeah, what's important to me is that it's a team, and I also want to be involved into the platforms. I do skip level meetings with the squad leads. So yeah, just to stay close to the colleagues. And obviously due to the 4 years that I spent in Metro Markets, I'm quite fond on product development and digital tools, and try to provide help to the colleagues that are more business oriented. And so far I had little touch points with that. And at the same point in time, it's also quite important to me that I keep on learning, because in the end, most of the time the teams know way better what we need to do than anybody higher up in the hierarchy.
So much for the how. Coming to the what. So what advantages do you expect Tom to bring for the further digitalization of our operational processes?
There are multiple elements. And let me start with the most obvious one. And that is the one that I think is also the most painful one. It will make us more cost effective. It's not a secret that we, in the countries, in Metro Digital, in Metro AG, are taking cost measures, both on the non-PAC side as well as on the PAC side. And so in the end, it will make us more cost effective. That is number one. But if that would be the only thing, then we would have not done a good job. What it also should ensure is that we are getting quicker. So we're getting quicker in developing of products, developing the right products. And thirdly, being closer together with the countries. In the end, we talked about One Metro before, we talked about togetherness. And in the end, the value is being realized. I'm always a bit careful with the value is created, but the value is realized locally. And in the end, the TOM should enable us to also be closer to our country colleagues, and also give them more transparency on why sometimes things are not going as quickly as they would like to, as we would like to as well. And I think this being closer together, combined with speed and being more cost effective, is the benefits that I expect.
Mm-hmm. You already get some experiences during the pilot phase since February. Looking back on the past few months, have there been any surprising insights in this TOM process that you did not expect?
One thing that I realized, due to the fact that we are still different companies, like Metro Digital is a different company than Metro AG, just from a pure legal identity setup, and the colleagues are working in different companies. One of the things that is quite difficult is to have effective processes then. So how does employee appraisal work? How, like, simple administrative things like, okay, somebody wants to go on vacation, overtime, these type of things, they take up actually quite some time to resolve that in a setup that we're striving for. And I think there's the so-called go live readiness, because we're right now mid of July, 1st of August, we are planning to go live with a broader set, all of the platforms. And then the real, like, this is the moment of truth, is the 1st of October. We have a transition phase now of 2.5 months. And within that time, we need to find a way to resolve these type of things. And it sounds super basic, but it's those type of things that in the end also frustrate an organization, make the collaboration more difficult, and simple things like, where will we actually sit in the future? It sounds complete trivial, but obviously we want people to come to the office. We want them to collaborate together. But if we ask them to come to the office and then we sit somewhere in 3 different buildings and every time 5-10 minutes walking distance, that is not going to work and will only frustrate people.
Yeah. And looking ahead, what are your expectations of this new way of working?
Well, as mentioned before, in the end, my expectation is that things will get smoother. And I've seen it in Metro Markets. I see it also in some of the teams so far. I think the new organization will make it easier to collaborate better. I would at the same point in time say the old organization did not prohibit us from doing it as well. So the organization now makes it easier, but in the end, we always say we're a people business, and that is also true. And in the end, it's probably true for most organizations. In the end, it's about the people, how they want to collaborate. So my expectation is that we'll have this smoother working together, and we will get quicker.
Yeah. So making things easier in our collaboration at Metro, and especially in terms of finding new digital tools for our business. Yeah, and you, dear colleagues, can find out more information about Tom on United. Simply enter Tom in the search box to find detailed material on this topic. So much for Tom. Let's talk about Sam. Matthias, Sam is an application that supports our Salesforce teams, making their work more efficient and improve customer service. Matthias, could you please explain how Sam makes life easier for our Salesforce people?
I mean, in the end, Sam is the CRM tool for our Salesforce. So it's where they prepare their visits, where they document their visits, and where they find the insights about our customers. Ideally, this is the key tool that they use in their day-to-day work. You will also find now the partnership agreement and the simulations that we talked about before, all incorporated in SAM. You will find the contracts that you have with your customers in SAM. So it's the all-in-one tool that you use on a day-to-day basis as a sales rep.
But not all Metro and Macro countries are using SAM to its full extent yet, right?
No. SAM is a classical example of our diversity as an organization. Let me put it like that. That's the politically correct way to phrase it. In the end, we have not managed to provide enough clarity about what we actually want out of SAM across countries to our colleagues in Metro Digital. In all fairness, we have even put the entire tool into maintenance mode even before I started, because if we cannot agree amongst a group of countries on this is what we want to have, then we're not going to continue developing, because we're going to always develop something that 3 people will say, yes, this is what we want. And then 5 people will say, no, we want something different. And because it's not what we want, we're also not going to use it. So it's one of the areas where we are looking into how can we as a group actually leverage our scale in a better way. And SAM is being used in some countries. So for example, in Croatia, in Portugal, quite a lot. And then we have other countries where we don't use it at all and where local tools have been built. And they are very good, those local tools. There is no debate about it. And we looked into whether we can move those locally developed functionalities also to other countries. But then the devil is always in the detail, because very often it's about local processes, it's about local databases, and then it's not replicable from one country to the other. So, and that's one thing that the colleagues at Metro Digital always said and also complained about, is we need to start with what is actually the standard business process, and then we build the tooling for this standard business process.
And how will the SAM app be developed further?
So we are now going into ABR, and we're going to ask for funding to develop, I would call it no regret things like a 360 view on a customer, things like certain productivity improvements, how to manage customer individual prices, also out of SAM. And these type of things we will now develop further.
Yeah, and what role will artificial intelligence play here in the future?
So we have now an initiative ongoing, which is called AI Sales Buddy, and the colleagues, so it's basically out of the Future AI platform, Olaf Merker, together with Heiko Peutert, that is Sales Excellence, and Marcel, who will do the sales platform. The colleagues are together with 2 pilot countries. The first pilot country and first mover will be France. Second one is Spain. Look into how can we use AI mainly for preparation and documentation of sales visits.
And if we take a look into the future, into an ideal world for our Salesforce people, how will this change the work of our Salesforce organization?
in the end, it should make life easier. I mean, the idea of AI is to make the life of our people easier. And Salesforce is a classical example where it hopefully will increase the productivity. It will take away certain tasks that are simply cumbersome.
Which
and
one, for
take
example?
time.
Do you have a
So,
concrete use case?
a classic example for me is meeting documentation. If you think about it today, how does meeting documentation work? Or how does the sales rep generally the day look like? They prepare for the visit with the customer. So they need to think about, okay, what do I actually want from that customer? What are the arguments that I have to convince the customer to either buy more of something or shift to a different delivery window or increase the purchase because they're below a minimum order value, these type of things. So what is my objective in my visit? Then they prepare that. They need to get the data in order to convince the customer. Then they have the meeting. And then after the meeting, they document the meeting. And that's one of the things that is important for us, both from a steering, but also from a follow-up perspective. And this documentation today is either on the phone or in the iPad typing. What obviously is way easier is via voice, just simply describing, this is what we discussed about this, and then AI in the background translating that into text, ideally also streamlining it, maybe even creating immediately follow-ups. So you can take out this entire documentation and also preparation to a certain extent to make the use of the time for the Salesforce much more effective.
Having a strong and efficient sales team will certainly help us to improve our multi-channel strategy. That means that more and more customers are buying online from us, whether via our custom app M Shop or our website. For example, there are less non-food products available in our stores, such as professional kitchen equipment. In future, these products will be sold mainly via our digital marketplace, Metro Markets. Matthias, what does that mean regarding the customer journey? What does it look like in future?
In the end, the customer journey will obviously change. So we need to determine which touch points play which role. I'll give you an example. As of today, if a customer comes to the store and is interested in a fridge, we would display to the customer, these are the 10 fridges that we have, and would try to convince the customer to buy one of these fridges and take it home with him, or home to its business with him. In the future, we might actually have a smaller range of fridges there, but we will have something which in Metro Markets countries is called assisted sales, where you can showcase to the customer, yes, we have these three if you have an immediate now need. Or here's a wider range and a way bigger range of products that you can purchase from us, and we'll ship it to your business immediately. So you have the store plays a certain role. Our website plays a different role. The app plays another role. The Salesforce again plays a different role, and it's different by product category. It's also different by customer type. So that's one thing that we need to develop, but we've done actually quite some work in that over the last couple of years. And I think in a lot of countries, this is already quite developed. We have in France an extremely high share of assisted sales. We have the same in Italy, in Spain and in Portugal. So there are very good examples and learnings that we can take from these countries when we talk about the e-commerce part of our business.
And could it be also in the future that at least for some countries that our customers will only buy food in the stores and non-food items via Metro Markets, for example?
I don't think we'll ever get to that extreme. So in the end, what we know is that the general market is going towards online in these categories. So that is something that is not metro specific, but market specific. So in the end, if you want to play in certain categories, you need to have an online offering. That is relatively clear and also agreement across the company. That does not mean that you don't have offline sales at all anymore. And I mean, we historically are very strong in offline sales. And if you would go, for example, to a country like in France, you still have significantly more non-food sales in the store than you have online. And I don't think that will go away. It will get closer to each other, and the growth rates in the online channel are quicker. But no, I don't expect that we are only selling non-food online going forward. The store has a role to play also for non-food.
However, in our multi-channel strategy, it's also foreseen that customers only buy online. Doesn't this mean that we are missing out on an important opportunity to connect with customers in person?
I would not agree that in our multi-channel strategy, the idea is that customers only buy online. The multi-channel strategy foresees the customer to buy across different channels. That there might be certain customers that decide that they only want to buy online or only want to buy in the store or only want to buy via FSD. That is possible. And then obviously you cannot force people to their luck, so to speak. But our clear ambition is that the customers buy via various channels. And we all know that FSD is almost by invitation only. So we will not be able to have all of our customers buying store, FSD, and e-commerce. But nothing is holding us back to say everybody that's buying e-commerce should buy in the store. Everybody that buys in the store should also buy e-commerce. And then for the customers that qualify, so to speak, for FSD, ideally they buy all three channels. And on top, they have also our digital solutions, which makes the package most round. And there's lots of debates about causality and correlation about those customers also being more valuable. But the data very clearly says customers that buy in more channels are more valuable to Metro. And it's not a Metro-specific phenomenon. So we should also there not try to reinvent the wheel. In the end, multi-channel is a proven concept.
In the process of the ongoing digitalization and digitalization of our marketing, how can we build personal relationships with our customers through digital communication?
So we have a very good example in Germany. Germany has done actually quite a good job in building up quite some reach via their digital touchpoints. They have built up a quite huge database of email subscribers. And then on top of that, they have experimented with WhatsApp quite a bit, so increased their reach via WhatsApp. And now they're shifting right now to what they call Metro Chat, which in the background, it's something called RCS. And that is, in essence, WhatsApp via the SMS channel, simplistically spoken. And they're quite pioneering that. So they've gained quite some attention, even from the likes like Google and Telecom. So they do quite a lot of things there. And yeah, in my perspective, this is part of the future. We'll need to see that we have a healthy customer mix between, yes, the trend will go more and more towards one-to-one, one-to-many type of communication. And then we'll need to find the right mix between our own channels, and own channels are then the companion, because the companion or our Metro app is by definition a possible channel for one-to-one, because you have it on your phone, be it via the website, be it via things like chat functions. In Eastern Europe, we have Viber. In Western Europe, you have more WhatsApp or now the RCS functionality. You still have email, you have call center, you have the Salesforce. All of these are more our own channels. And then we also need to be a bit more strategic about our marketing mix in terms of like, how much do we put into own channels? How much do we also put into paid channels? Paid channels in the end is the classical, be it Instagram, be it YouTube, be it classical Google search, and so on and so forth. And then the last piece, which some countries are doing really well and others we do way too limited, is the so-called earned channels, which is whenever you're being mentioned because you are in the press somewhere and you have a certain positioning that is very strong.
Yeah, so many ways of digital communications. Yeah, last question. To conclude, Matthias, what major topics and projects are coming up for you in the next few weeks and months?
Next few weeks is a relatively easy answer. We talked about Tom before. We'll, as mentioned, have a soft go live 1st of August, then the really go live 1st of October. That will definitely keep us busy. What's quite important to me is that we, at some point in time, then thereafter also start being able to shift gears and really start moving towards the future, because otherwise we spend too much time just looking at ourselves, and we need to look into the market, need to look towards our customers, our colleagues. How can we help and support them? So concrete examples are, we have within M-Shop a really nice initiative right now ongoing. It's called availability to promise. So within the M-Shop order flow, you will, as a customer, be able to really see what is available, how much is available, is there new goods coming, and those type of things. It's something that a lot of countries and also some of the functions have been asking for quite a while. So that's something which I'm looking forward to delivering. And then there are multiple other things. We right now, as mentioned before, we're in the annual business review where we are pitching for various things, be it things like we want to implement a consent management platform to enable us to use our first-party data in marketing better. Quite important also, for example, for Metro Germany, we all know they're in the middle of a massive transformation, marketing being one key area. It's another area we want to help them to improve the website. Also there we're pitching for additional resources to help in the end also Metro Germany in their transformation efforts.
Hey guys, have you already heard about Metro's Super Scorer campaign? Every day, our colleagues put their heart and soul into making sure that everything runs smoothly at Metro and Makro, whether in our stores, in the depots, in Salesforce, customer service, or in administration. With Who is Your Super Scorer? We want to say thank you to these everyday heroes and put them in the spotlight. My personal super scorer candidate is my colleague Eva, who always comes up with such great campaigns and implement them with a lot of creativity and even more passion. In doing so, she spread our Metro fundamentals worldwide among all Metro people. And now it's your turn to nominate your silent hero, team player or role model. Simply click on the link in the show notes, write 2 sentences explaining your choice and send it in by 29th of August. Let's go. Show us who gives their all at Metro. Okay, Matthias, now let's move on to what you have brought us and to what our colleagues have been waiting for over the past 2 episodes. Something that's maybe also digital, at least you brought it here digitally on your iPhone. Your sound souvenir, a sound that you associate with something special or that simply gives you pleasure, whether at work or in your private life. Matthias, we are all excited. Let's hear what sound souvenir you have brought for us. Okay. That sounds that there's someone running.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah. What is it?
It's me running. I picked that up, I would say, 12 years ago because my oldest daughter is 12 and I tend to run at weird hours. So I run at like 5:15 in the morning for an hour or a bit longer. And it's something that gives me a lot of energy because at some point in time, I was not sporty at all anymore. And I realized that it also takes a toll on me from a personal well-being perspective. And then I try to find a sport that is compatible with what really gives me energy, which is my family. I have 3 daughters and my wife also works. So if I would now, I don't know, say I go play golf or something like that would not go over well. So running in the end at weird hours is what works well for me, what works well for my family. And I've grown to enjoy it quite a lot. And that is the thing that I brought here today.
Yeah. And where do you going? So where
at the Rhine.
Can we find you in weird hours in the morning?
So I run from home towards the Rhine, then along the Rhine and back home. So it's like I have a standard route, 12.5K. And I run that depends on, right now I'm a bit worse. At some point in time, I was running that 3 to 4 times a week. Right now we're more talking about twice a week because I also picked up tennis again because my kids are gotten older as well. Yeah. So they are a bit more self-sufficient.
Yeah, me as well. Also start playing tennis again. Matthias, thank you for the great sound and your great story behind it. Yeah, thank you for bringing and sharing it with us. Really amazing. And thank you very much, Matthias, for all the many, many interesting information about the digital transformation at Metro. I'm sure we all really learned a lot. All the best to you, Matthias.
Thanks, Bernd. Always a pleasure.
And to you, dear colleagues out there, thank you for tuning in. If you have any requests for topics or would you like to give me feedback on this podcast, please feel free to drop me an email or message me on Teams. Don't forget to subscribe to more podcasts on your favorite podcast platform, catch up on the past episodes, and recommend more podcasts to all your colleagues. I can't wait for the next episode. Bye-bye and take care.